All right, guys, I want to make a pretty quick, uncut video. I'm in my car. We're getting ready just to head to practice, and I'm going to be coaching the third practice of today. And I'm going to be doing kids class. Then I've got the adult Jiu Jitsu gi practice tonight. And when I'm going into coaching, I'm not just thinking about what I'm going to teach, but I'm also like formulating like how can I best describe this concept that we're going through right now to where our athletes can get better faster. And what's interesting about this is that like I don't view myself as a jiu-jitsu instructor. If I'm how I view an instructor is somebody that goes in and they're like a professor at a college. They give the information. If you get it, great. If you don't, should have worked harder. But as a coach, like I really feel like there's a psychological side that I really take into play, and I understand that each athlete is different. So I have some athletes that do better hands-on. Some athletes, they need to see it a handful of times, but they have different learning styles, right? That doesn't mean that with some athletes that we completely avoid the learning style that they don't like prefer or do as well, because there's just also this idea of like diminishing returns is still returns. Like in some contexts that may not be exactly applicable to what I'm trying to say, but even if like doing something one way will give you a big result, but doing something another way will give you a little result, that little result is still a result. It's improvement. And I was really thinking about this, and I had a bit of a, not an epiphany, but a kind of different way of thinking about this I wanted to share with you. And I think this will really make a big impact on how you view training and how you can actually train like a black belt, someone who has a black belt level of jiu-jitsu, what a black belt thinks about. Because you being a white belt or color belt right now, it's kind of like this idea, in order for you to be a champion, you have to start thinking and acting like one. So like a day-to-day of a champion, what do? Well, they're disciplined. They go about their training, they're studying, they're doing all these things. So you have to act like a champion before you can be a champion, right? And I think the same thing applies to being a black belt, because if I could go back into time, even as like a white belt, right? I would have loved to had myself train the way that I do. To have myself train the way that I actually train today. And how I train today is like 100% focus of just skill development. Like when I say that, like there's obviously a phase in the beginning. If I'm wanting to learn something new, I go through like a skill acquisition phase. And it's the same thing with my athletes. Is that I'm learning something new. I have to watch it. I have to go through the motions. And then I have my training partners, my students give me like different varying levels of resistance. And then we kind of like talk through it, right? And then it slowly progresses to where it's more and more. And then I run into a problem, and then I find an answer, right? And I continue to progress through this. And then I look for it in sparring rounds or specific rounds of people that I know that have a real big strength in a position. And when I was thinking about this, it's like, man, when I was a white belt, I knew nothing but wanted to learn everything. And I learned quite a bit. But I feel like the biggest thing that white belts learn when you try to consume everything in regards to jiu-jitsu, as in a submission here, a submission there, how to defend this, how to retain here, how to pass here, you're gonna learn a lot, but know nothing. Like you may know what the technique looks like, but you don't have an understanding of how to perform it or even how to defend it. And when I think about the difference of how I train now, it's like right now I'm ramping up for competition, so I'm doing a lot of the things that I do in tournaments to sharpen up my timing. But I have some other positions that I'm working through to develop my skill to get better, because we all have different positions and techniques that we're more confident in than others. Because confidence comes through demonstrated ability. So naturally, if you're more confident in it, you're better at doing it because you've seen yourself do it or felt yourself do it a whole bunch of times. So when I was thinking about this, it's like I'm a black belt and I focus on obviously the things that I do well to keep them sharp and get better, look for different reactions from people. But when I'm working a new position, like I'm really only focused on one, maybe two areas. You can maybe say 2.5, like if I got a little fun little side project or something like that. But that's with an athlete that trains every day, multiple times a day, and I study film every day. Like this is what I do, guys. So if I'm thinking about for an athlete, maybe like you, that does jiu-jitsu 2 to 3 times a week, maybe even one. If I only have enough time to focus on 1 to 2, maybe 2.5 positions or concepts, and I could train every day, twice a day. I say every day, twice a day. It's like 6 days out of the week. I do take 1 day off because my wife will kill me. But if I can only focus on that many positions with that much time to be on the mat, how much more important is it for somebody who doesn't to focus on just one? And I'm talking like one technique, like a Kimura from close guard or something like that. I'm more so talking about, like, let's say just close guard, maybe just spider guard, picking 1 to 2 concepts. You can use a verbiage like technique, and then really get comfortable being able to go through those motions, understanding what reactions you need to be able to do that. What does the off balance look like? How does this spider guard sweep connect into this one? And really become an expert in that one position. And what kind of supported some of this thinking is that one of my purple belts, a lot of you may know him. You guys can look him up. Kid's an animal. He's a purple belt now, light feather, but he's only been doing jiu-jitsu for 4 years. There's not a position that this kid is not dangerous in. Like, he's legitimately low-key terrifying. And with a lot of athletes, like, you're worried about getting scored on, positional stuff. No, with Ethan, you're worried about getting broken, like, in every position. But kind of fast-forwarding, rewinding a bit, Ethan, when he was a white belt, won PANs at IBGF his first year and was undefeated at PANs. Like, submitted everybody but, like, 2 people. I think he did, like, was it 19 matches or 19 tournaments? I don't remember which one. But he did a lot. The kid competed often. And what was interesting about Ethan is that, like, he would be working, what we'd be doing is like a study with the team. So, like, he could do some guard passes, and it wasn't like bad, but he was a white belt. He could do some close guard stuff. It wasn't bad, but he was a white belt. But if he got the collar sleeve, he did not feel like a white belt. His collar sleeve was terrifying. He was going to omoplata you or triangle you. Like, it was at a point with him being a white belt, he didn't want to sweep you because that means he had a pass. Not saying you should build that habit, but my point of this is that he was so terrifying as a white belt, he could submit guys that were leaps and bounds of better than him, like higher belts, legit competitors. Some black belts would sleep on him. It'd be like, oh, he's a white belt, and then gets collar sleeve, and then out of nowhere, this kid feels like a dangerous purple or brown belt. And my car is beeping at me. Thank goodness it stopped. But it feels like a really dangerous purple or brown belt. And then we fast forward, and then he's getting more comfortable passing. And then but it was a slow build. But if you look where he's at today, you think, man, 4 years, this kid is that good and that dangerous that some world champions that we go cross-train with recognize this kid. Like, he's that good. But that took 4 years. So it seems like, man, this kid made a crazy amount of progress really fast. And in the big picture, he did. But we apply, like, this concept is kind of like a 3 to 6 month rule is what we call it. And this 3 to 6 month rule is that in the first 3 months, we're focusing on a new concept or revisiting a concept. And we're trying to either add a new skill or we're trying to, like, continue to develop one. And in that time, for that 3 months, we're only focused on that thing. Nothing else. We may do some side stuff, but only that thing. And then after that first 3 months, we then go into something else. Preferably something that connects relatively close. But in the next 3 months, we're still working on that thing we were working the previous 3 months. We're just polishing it, sharpening it, maybe slight improvements, but a lot of our focus is on that next thing, right? So in that 6 months, you've made a lot of progress in one area, like a lot of progress, and you've started making really good progress in another. That's 6 months. You fast forward another 6 months, we're sitting at a year. And each time you've gone from first 3 months, one concept, second 3 months, polishing up on that concept, new concept, next 3 months, polishing up on that past concept, maybe still doing a little bit of that before because it's really a part of your game now, but we're working on a new concept. And you keep building upon that. And then you fast forward to 4 years when you really think about that. Yeah, it makes sense why Ethan, a purple belt that is like 140, 45 pounds, is terrifying and has zero fear of doing the absolute and has good success doing it as a light feather. The dude's torso's long, legs are like this long. Ethan, if you're seeing this, I'm sorry. And it's interesting because Ethan trains that way because it's how I train and it's what we do. And Ethan, within 4 years, has gone from being a really good training partner, a handful of positions, to literally anywhere. He's extremely dangerous. But it's because we have that 3 to 6 month rule. And that 3 to 6 month rule of having a very narrow focus has made crazy results. And Ethan did this as a white belt. And I'm telling you guys, like, if you weren't aware of how long he's done Jiu Jitsu and what his current belt was, and you rolled with him, a lot of gyms he'd be a black belt. Realistically, a very strong brown belt. But he's purple. I mean, we're a little restricted by the IBJJF rule set, right? Because the requirements with belts and everything else like that. Good, bad, different, who cares? But this is what we've been doing with a lot of our athletes at our gym. Ethan trains the same amount as I do. So some of that progress is because of that. But for you, maybe you train, maybe 2 or 3 times a week? Let me know in the comments below how much you actually train. But 2 to 3 times a week. If you focus on one area to where it's your baby. You try to make this legitimate a part of your game. And then you're at practice working whatever they're working. Still work that stuff a little bit. It's kind of your 1.5. But you work that one thing for 3 months. And then after that 3 months, you have enough data and information to know what do I need to polish up here? What is somebody doing to me? Because I've seen it enough now that they're doing this that's kind of stopping me from doing it. So then you put all your attention into that. Keep working what you were doing before, right? The previous 3 months. But this next 3 months, you're really honed in and focused on that one thing. Man, my camera keeps slipping down. That's kind of annoying. But you keep working on that next thing. That's training like a black belt. I'm not just talking about someone who wears the belt. I'm talking about a black belt level of Jiu Jitsu. Not somebody who can name a bunch of stuff like off memory. I'm talking about somebody that can show it, do it, and almost somebody knows you're going to go for it, and they still can't stop it. That's being a black belt level. Pardon my French. It's not like that, what's that guy's name? Something Berg, Money, whatever. Wearing a black belt probably knows and how to like drill a handful of techniques and everything of that nature. But to do it at a black belt level against another high level black belt, there's no freaking way. He hasn't pressure tested it. No. I don't care if you only train with world champions. They are going easy on you. You need legitimate, difficult, peer-to-peer level resistance, getting your butt kicked a little bit, doing some of the butt kicking a little bit, and then, somewhere a little bit in between, right? But kind of jumping back because I'm losing my train of thought a little bit. If you want to be a black belt, wow, I looked away and look how bad that felt. If you want to be a black belt level of jiu-jitsu, you need to start training like a black belt now. Put your focus and attention in getting better, not just learning everything. If you try to learn everything, you're going to know how to do nothing. I'm telling you guys. If you try to know everything, you will understand nothing. If you try to focus on little and build off that little, then you're going to start understanding a lot. A lot. I promise you guys. I've seen this over and over and over again. Some of my friends that have done things in the sport that I would have dreamed to be able to do, winning, you name the title. This is what they focus on. Skill development, getting better in very narrow focused positions, areas, guards, style of guard passing, all that fun stuff. And what's really cool is when you understand how to do something, you're also learning the flip side of how to defend it. Because if you know how to do a knee cut, you know what you need to do that knee cut. So when somebody's doing it to you, try to focus on what makes it difficult for you to knee cut and do that to them. Just make their job more difficult. You don't need to know how to play rock, paper, scissors, and then they play rock. Oh, I got to play paper, and this is how I play paper. No, you just make their job more difficult. And through time and position, you're going to get better, right? So I want to wrap up this video with encouraging you guys, like, train like a black belt. Ask yourself, what would a black belt do? Oh, they would bolo and they no. I'm not talking about from a technical perspective. I'm talking faster. I'm talking from a training and mindset perspective. What would they do? Treat it like if someone was wanting to be a champion, what should they do? They should live a life of a champion. You should do the exact same with being a black belt, wanting to be a black belt level of jiu-jitsu. If you guys want more help like this, let me know in the comments below. I want to hear from you guys. I want to help you. Making YouTube videos is a lot of fun, but I think the biggest thing I've enjoyed the most is some of the relationships and connections that I've made through making these videos with our in common love with jiu-jitsu. I make a lot of lapel guard content. Believe it or not, I'm not just good at lapel guard. It's just what coincidentally I abuse a lot at tournaments and in training. So if you guys want to get better at lapel guard, consider checking out the links down below. I got my lapel guard instructional. I got the spider lapel guard that I'm going to be adding here soon, and some other lapel passing concepts that are really fun for you. Not so fun for your training partners and opponents, but hey, that's what makes it fun for us, right? But consider checking out those links down below. I also got a school group, guys. The school group, it does have my lapel guard instructional, but this is where we post a lot of sparring content on myself, so you guys get interactions with me. You post your content. I give feedback. The community gives feedback. It's called our Lapel Guard Syndicate group. It's similar to Patreon. It's just really better, guys. It's easier for me to interact with you. You get help from everybody involved versus you kind of competing for my attention. You get the attention from the whole virtual team. So we won't be your real team. We're going to be your step team. Just like I won't be your real coach, I'm going to be your step coach. Guys, if you liked the video, please like it, comment, subscribe, all that fun stuff. Helps out the video a ton. And if you need some help in jiu-jitsu, guys, or if you have a different thought with this, let me know in the comments below. I want to connect with you and help you get better faster.